I'm Kayaditi. This is Arizona Modern Easy. Holes in one, not all, because five's impossible. So if one is so inclined to go for the ace on one, I took it off the side of the opening there, and that got it to pop up. Put a couple of those. On two. At least the hole is in the center on this one. So I ended up hitting it slightly off to the right as I, hit it hard enough to get around. And just hoping it banks back nicely. And three, same thing like you do in hard. They're both similar. Just gonna pop it up over the edge there and bypass all that. At least in easy, the last one has got all the curves to roll it down towards the center. Yeah, a little bit of a wilder ace for fun. Four was one of the tougher ones for sure, in easy and hard. It's just whenever you got that hole that's in the middle of a circle, you've got to get in there where it banks back evenly or something, or it's just going to bank off at an angle. So yeah, I really could have filled this up with all the close calls. So when it did ace, it was that path which I probably did work the most by a little bit, just to take it off that rock. And then, yep, get it to go up there and roll down that little bank to give it some speed. All right, five. The only hole in the game that cannot be done, just because of the physics of how it's laid out. I even went underneath, thought maybe I could pop it up somehow, but no, of course not. You could get it in the inner circle sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to try it in game because the odds are so against it. I putted it just so many times, and honestly, it only got in there maybe 3 or 4 times. So, not doing any of that in game. But here you go, just for funsies from 6, to give you some kind of ace to 5 since it can't be done directly.
Record it.
Do you want to?
Yeah, usually I record it where you can tell it's a hole in one, and I just forgot this time.
So yeah, there's a couple of ways to ace this one. I'm just putting in 2 ways that I use. Just different places you can bank it off to get it to come around. Alright, 7. Yep, this one I just putted close to the circle there, just to get it to bank the way I wanted. Alright, so 8, similar approach in easy and hard. This is an ace going to the left. I always bank it towards the back wall to get it to pop up and over. It just gives a better angle for the approach. And there's one going to the right. I mean, they are the same. So if you're right or left-handed, I guess, whichever way just seems easier. 9. This is one of the ones that actually took the longest. I tried different paths, like, going down the staircase, because that does want to actually roll it towards the hole. But to actually get it to go in, the hole just didn't really work. I would end up slightly to the left, slightly to the right. Of course, taking it over the top, looking to bank off that back railing and get it to come back in. That also would get really ridiculously close. But ultimately the ace came from this one, which I also worked quite a bit. And that ended up tapping off the little wall there and finally just going in. So there's a smudge right there. So if you go just to the right of that as you're putting, that gives it a nice way to bank back around to carry it off at that angle. Even if it came out of that, it often bounced back off the railing. So, could be a way to go. Yep, always do this in game. It's just that little tap back to my left. And that'll get it to go through the rocks nicely. So I'm just showing that a couple of times. It's a consistent way to get it to go through the rocks and end up right near the hole. Alright, 11. This was a tough one. 11 and 12 were the last two that I got. And so, yeah, I mean, it got close like that a few times. Not a ton, though. It's just so hard to get it to pop up and over. I mean, in a game, it's so easy to go down there. Like, why would you even risk this anyway? But if you can get it to fly down the little loop there, and so here's the ace, the same thing. I'm hitting it to my right where that shadow ends on the circle, and that would often get it to, you can see there, like where the shadow ends, I would hit it right to that, and that often would catch it in a way to send it shooting down the little loop-de-loo. 12 was the last one that I got. So many crazy ways to get it up there maybe, but never going to try it in game. That one just flew way up in the air and still stayed up top. In game, I'm just going to do that. Kind of hit it sort of close to where I am at T, right to the wall so it goes around smoothly. And then if all goes well, I've got it in 2. But I spent hours on this one, and it got really close a lot of times. It's just, you're never going to do it in game. Like, it's just completely crazy. You're hoping for something bonkers to happen to send it back in the area, whether it's flying way up into the hills and coming back down, or whatever it may be. So many amusing things that just one of you could go in. This was real common, kind of to fly back and then come back off the cactus, which is similar to what the ace happened. I had a strange glitch with the wall that was there for months, and I'm like, okay, but this is like the last one I need. And honestly, that took hours, and since it looked so similar to the way it kept looking anyway, I was like, I'm being too picky just so it doesn't look strange. Alright, 13. Yeah, little game ace there. So yeah, that one you're just tapping down to the center. And if it can be real centered, it has to tap back off the circle real even. Alright, 14. So if you can get it to tap off the far side of that beam that's going to redirect it, that's what will catch the wall and bring it back to the hole. 15. Very similar to hard. Get it up there where it just barely rolls off that edge. So you want it to get up there and then it really slows down so it'll just creep off the edge. You can always skip all that altogether. Just kidding. Not going to do that in game. But you really could. That honestly did not take that long to do. It pops up and over really nicely. Yep, 16. Probably everybody knows that approach. So I threw in a little wackier one. But yeah, you're just barely tapping it off the edge of that super centered. And then it'll just roll up and go into the hole. You can skip every bit of it if you just want to dunk it in. 17. I threw in a couple here, straight ahead, zigzag. I had a bunch of aces on this one. But honestly, you know, having a more predictable approach, like right there, right on the bridge on that corner. And then I've got another one on the corner on the other side of the bridge. Both of them, with the right speed, of course, would get a ace, and that's something better to aim for. Friend and I were playing, both got aces. We're like, all right, let's record them together. 18. Great practice for just putting really straight. And then, of course, really is putting that straight for me is actually really challenging. But then the speed you're just trying to land as well.
Oh no, I didn't hit it hard enough.
This is just hole and fun. But, oh, that was just like really right hanging over the edge. Of course, because how often that happens. So yeah, this is weird. That little wall has been missing in mine for a while. And it's so funny, like the ball would get there and then like slowly run under. Oh well, not a whole lot of hole in front of this one. Thanks for watching.